Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 50. Today we're making this. All of this has been made in After Effects and all of this has been made from scratch. I will show you step by step how you can make it yourself. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We are going to start off with a new composition and then we're going to load in our picture. Okay, we're going to import our picture here. But before we do that, well, we're going to have to import. We're going to have to put anything that we don't want into a new folder so that it only opens this picture. If you don't do that, it will open all pictures in one file and it's really weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to put this into our comp, and since our picture is a square, we are going to make our composition into a square as well. Composition settings 1280. There we go. So what we want to do with this picture is we're going to first of all key it. So it's called color key. You can also find it in the effects bar here, effects keying color key. And we're going to use that to remove all the white, because we want everything that's white we want to have well, see-through. And you can see there's still some stuff left. I will turn on the black background and there you can see it. Just turn up the color tolerance and you should be fine. So all that's left is a little bit of grayish stuff here, and for the rest it is black. So what we're now going to do to remove that grayish stuff is turn on tint and put the tint underneath the color key, which means it gets applied afterwards, and you can see, well, you can't actually see it. Well, I'll just show you like this. We can turn the white into black as well, so all the colors have now been turned to black. And if you don't see a significant change in your setup, you're done here. If you do, because sometimes you have some pixels that are not caught by the color key, you just make a new color key. So you just duplicate the color key and choose a new color. So in this case, we can take black and then everything disappears. But yeah, you can see the point. If there are pixels left, colors left, I should say, just make a new color key before the tint and then just tint everything to black, so that even if there were white pixels remaining, like, yeah, if we had the original picture, everything would just turn to black. And now with the color key, it will color out all of the white pixels up until the black. That's why we have it to the maximum here, 255, because there's a 256 difference between the two. And yeah, you can see here how that works. I do recommend that you never use edge thin or edge feather unless you know what you're doing, or unless you're working with, well, no, you still have to know what you're doing. Unless you're working with video footage, I wanted to say. Anyhow, let's make our animation. Our animation is made on top of this layer, so there's really not a whole lot else to say. We're going to do position, scale, and rotation. Then hit U, so it's PSR, and then U to bring them all up. And we're going to make this about 20 seconds long, so we have some time to make an ending. So in the end, we want everything to be kind of similar, maybe not the same, but at least similar. Well, not the rotation. The rotation might actually vary at some point. Oh, I had everything selected. So I'm going to turn off the rotation then, and just give it that first point so we can find it with the U. What we're going to do here is we're going to move it around a little bit, rotate it a little bit over time, and then scale it a little bit so that we get nice effect. That's also why I picked a picture with very thin lines. If you pick a completely black picture, the effect will not be as cool. And yeah, you don't want that. You want to have the super duper cool effects, of course. Well, that's kind of logical. Anyhow, what we're going to do is just, well, first let's do the scaling. They don't have to match. I prefer if they don't match. So let's make it this big, and then let's make it this big. And then somewhere here it can be big again. I don't know, something like that. Maybe here it can become very small. And somewhere here it can be a little bit smaller, so we get a nice... I don't know what the beginning will look like now. It's just a little bit, and then it zooms in and out and in and out and blah blah. So a little bit too much action here. This is a little bit too long. This one's also a little bit too long. So we'll scale down. So let's scale it down very quickly at first, and then the rest will be a lot slower. So here it will scale down a lot faster, and then it will kind of fade off a little bit. I guess we can make it a little bit more. Yeah, if you're having trouble finding the dots, these little arrows here will get you to the next point on the timeline or the previous point, depending on what you're trying to do and which one you hit, obviously. So this is the scaling. It doesn't really matter too much. Then we're going to do rotation second. So don't pick the same numbers, just pick different numbers. It is, by the way, the prettiest if you just yeah, go one direction. So let's say we want to rotate 3 times total. So now we have kind of a benchmark, and we can play around with that a little bit. Yeah, don't rotate too much, but it is actually too much. So let's delete the entire thing. 3 times apparently too much. Let's make it twice. Oh, it's the first number. So it's going to rotate twice in total, and as you can see, it's already rotating, but we want to have a little bit of variation in that, which can be done in several ways. You can, for example, make a dot here and then drag it forward. That way you know whether it's going faster or slower. You can also just do it by hand. I mean, saying that I'm standing over here, the rotation is currently like this. I can just edit the rotation so that it actually becomes a little bit easier. I think I overdid it a little bit with this first point. Actually, no, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, I kind of figured it would be a little bit too much, but it seems fine. So here the rotation kind of stops. It's a very slight rotation, and then we have well, if you make a very slight rotation, you have to have a big scale in it in the same time. So you shouldn't do it too much, but because otherwise, yeah, your thing becomes kind of boring, and you don't want that. So in the end, it's going to stand right up, and of course, the scale is up to you. I personally like to scale it to something big in the end here. So let's scale it up to something like this. I don't know how big this one was. This one was also big, so let's scale it down first, and then it can scale up for the final presentation. And then in the end, so let's say for the last 5 seconds here, we're going to scale it down to 0. Oh, it's better to actually type it in. And that way, we will have kind of an ending to our story. We can actually start with 0 as well if we want to. We don't need to. It's not a big deal if we start with something in play already. But yeah, it's nice to have kind of a thing that that comes out of something. So the position then, yeah, the position, just make sure that it doesn't run off the screen, and for the rest, it doesn't really matter. Don't move too much, but as I said, it's more important that it doesn't run off the screen like there. So just try to find those points and adjust them. So I'm going to adjust it by just dragging it over here a little bit. Yeah, the movement should not be too much. We're going to, by the way, oh, does it? No, it actually just touches the side. That's fine. And you can, of course, if you want to, just let it touch the screen. It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, normally it's not what you want. So we're going to ease the keyframes and the path a little bit. Just showing you what can be done, and that's all. So currently, let's put it over here and then go back to that way, so that we have somewhere to travel for the last few frames. See, it doesn't run out of this screen here. It's touching again, but that's fine. As long as it doesn't run completely off the screen, it's fine by me. So in here, it's going to stay in the middle because that's kind of the point of that final thing. So we're going to just click the position here. Hang on. And that should give us all of the keyframes. Now we're going to go to Convert Vertex Tool and just convert all of them to splines. And you can see that it's a lot smoother now. But you do have to check whether your thing is still, because now it makes this this weird path, and you have to check whether your thing is still in bounds. And well, we do have some issues here. Let me change the color on this, because I don't know if this actually changes the, yeah, it does. So it's a little more visible. Can we have something that's actually visible, guys? No, I guess we have to turn on the black background to actually see this. But you know, I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Oh, just the first one. So I don't know why it's dragging away my thingy. Maybe I need to stand over here. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, clicking on these things is a little bit tedious, but. And if you're having trouble getting this to line up perfectly, just click it and then click it again with the Convert Vertex tool, and you should get a better match. Well, you should get a perfect match, but in this case it didn't really work that way. And you can, of course, address any issues you have with the path in, well, right here, basically. Yeah, we're going to go back to the invisible thingy. So transparent background. You can also make a colored background, of course. That makes your path stand out a little bit better. And we are going to drag this away. I don't know if... No, it did do it correctly this time. Okay. That's cool. So yeah, it's going over here, then it just touches the bottom, which is fine, and then here it won't run off the screen. Here it did touch, it now goes a little bit off screen. If you don't want that, which I don't, then just go to the position where it's furthest out, so that's here, and then drag one of the already existing points to make sure that it doesn't hit anymore, and that way it should prevent everything. Excellent. Okay, this being done, we can now go into our actual design. So let's call it design. You didn't see that coming, right? And this one is actually 720. Doesn't have to be. No, actually, this one shouldn't be 720. No. New composition. This one should be 1280. The final design should be design. That's what I was typing. The final design should be 1280 by 720, assuming that you make it for a video. If you don't, then of course you can make it whatever you feel like. Let us drop in comp 1, which we didn't rename. Let's call this animation. Let's drop the animation in here. And we are going to put a tint effect on this because it's all black and we don't want that. we are going to go to the tint effect and we're going to say map black to and alt click on that. And we're going to do times. So currently it has the tint effect, and we're going to multiply the tint effect by 1 point. No, we have to add things to it. Let's say plus. We're going to make like 20 layers, so let's say plus 10. So that's 10, 10. Oh no, that's not how that works. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. That's also not how that works. 0.04. Yeah, the maximum number is 1, so you have to make sure that you don't run out of space. Basically, you can make 25 layers with this, and it will still work. Times index. And we have to add comma 1 to this. So hopefully this will work in one go. The thing is, what we have is we have the black color, which is 0001, and then we're going to add 0.04 every layer. And if we make multiple layers, that would mean that we would get multiple colors. But hopefully it will actually do it correctly. The thing is, of course, these are all gray colors, and that's exactly what I wanted, but I'm just telling you just so you know. So let's make a couple of them. We actually have 26. As I said, I wanted about 20, so I'm going to delete 6 of them. Now we have 20, and we are going to sequence them. So just select all the layers, or Control A, right click, go to keyframe assistant, sequence layers. We have a total of 30 seconds, and if we want them to be 5 frames apart, this would be perfect. 29, 25, base is 30. Basically, you type in the 30 seconds and you subtract the amount so the maximum time you have, that's the 30 seconds. And then you want to subtract the difference between the layers that you want. So in this case, since this would be 30 seconds, we are going to subtract 5 and be done. Transition should be off because we don't want the transition. We want this to be very smooth. So this is going to look like this. It's actually really messy, way messier than I thought it would be. So, but you can see the effect that we have. Actually, with the person, this was way better. But maybe it will clear up once we add color to it, because currently we have black and white and everything looks like the same, but you can see the effect kind of going. We could also say, let's see, keyframe assistant, sequence layers, that we don't want this many frames. Maybe we only want 2 frames between them. And that way the effect becomes less, and maybe it will just become better. I really don't know. Now let's for now put the 5 frame between them. It seems fine. What we're going to do here now is we're going to go into our final design. So new composition. There you go, final design. Now come on. The final design consists of a background layer, and of course, yeah, as I said, you need to make this. Well, you don't have to make it into 1280 by 720, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to plop in a background layer very quickly. Let's say solid, whatever color, effect, generate 4 color gradients, and set everything to, like, I don't know, blue. So let's pick 4 blue colors, because blue is normally a good color to mix. Lots of nice colors in blue. Lots of nice, interesting effects. I don't know what to pick for the last one. Kind of already have that. maybe a little green in there just to mix it up a little bit. Okay, like that. And then you can drag them around. Let's put the light in the middle, the dark over here, and the other darker spot over here, so that you get a little bit of a mix of where the dots are. Maybe push this up a little, like that. Okay, that's good enough. It doesn't have to be super fancy for now, as long as you understand how to make this. We're going to plop the design in here, and then we're going to put a curves effect on the design itself. So the design is going to be showing up in a moment, so let's show where it actually is. And we do have to scale it, by the way, like 67%, I believe that is. No, it's actually less. So make sure it fits into your composition. And yes, it will not use the entire thing here. You can, of course, make it use the entire thing. It's all good. It's up to you what you want. What we want is a spot where the effect is clearly visible. So what we would like is something like this or so. Yeah, I don't know. And we're going to colorize it. And we have to colorize it so that the light and dark colors are different colors. So currently I have the red into the high colors, which means the whites, and out of the black colors. So we get different colors for those two. And you can do the opposite as well. So let's do that for the green. And this way you get kind of a color gradient. Now all we need to do is choose one for the blue. So let's say the blue is also in the high colors with the red, but not in the low colors. That means the low colors become green and the high colors become some kind of purple. So 2 points is enough. Yeah, the purple is not entirely what I had in mind. Let's take out the red out of everything. So we can just do that by dragging it like this. And this way it becomes green to blue, which is not a great combination. The black might still be black. That's because it's pure black, and yeah, it won't colorize very well, or at all. And we kind of, I think, picked the wrong picture here. So just to show you how easy it is to change that, we're just going to go to the animation and just say, well, we currently have photo number 7, and we're going to import a file, which is photo number 6, and we're going to alt drag it over here, and then hopefully that will work. We're going to unfortunately have to copy these by hand. So normally that wouldn't be too much of a problem, because normally you would, if you alt dragged, it would actually drop in as the new footage, but for photos it doesn't work like that. So yeah, this photo, by the way, is exactly the opposite of the other one. The other one is black on white. No, sorry, that was white on black as well. Oh, sorry, black on white as well. So no, never mind. We have a similar photograph. I thought this one was the opposite. Yeah, let's see the effects that are on here. Currently there are no effects because I didn't copy them yet. So we are going to have to copy these as well, and then it will do the exact same thing. So there you go. It will now do the thing that it already did. And yeah, the arms are, well, I picked this picture because the arms are out, which means that you get nice effects with them, and you get these kinds of effects with them. And yeah, the tree, I guess, was too open. I didn't try it out yet. So that's what you get for not trying it out. But yeah, you can see here that it's actually quite a nice effect with the girly. And because of that, we have kind of a nice transitions. So you get all these nice flow things. And if you don't agree with the color, just adjust the color. You have the thing right here. the curves adjustment and just tune the colors. If you want the front part to be, well, brighter green, just turn up the green. If you want it to be brighter blue, then just turn up the blue. Or if you want to get the blue out of the, well, the high colors, you can do that as well. So it's all up to you. And unfortunately, the front part is kind of black. So we can actually try to brighten that up by just using the RGB. So boosting everything, and then we can of course add in some other colors as well. A little bit more red here, a little less green. Well, I guess more green in the darks, but less green in the lights, and there you get a little bit more color variation. The blue should be in the highs as well. Oh, it is. Okay, let's take it out. Let's see what that does. Sorry, not in the highs, in the lows. Yeah, I did it exactly opposite from what I did last time. That's why I'm kind of confused. Yeah, I want this one to be less dark, but I guess there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Okay, this seems like a good color combination. It definitely flows through all the colors, which is kind of nice. And if you're not like satisfied with the way it looks, then you can just adjust things. For example, I currently think that the difference between the frames is a little bit too much. So I can go back to design, delete everything except for the last layer. Well, actually, no, everything except for the first layer, because that one is well, is at 0, starts at 0. And then we can just hit View, go to our thing, make this into 0.01, which means that now we can do 100 different layers if we wanted to. So we're going to create 5, which become 10, which become 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Yeah, now we have 100 of them, and I guess we need to delete one because I didn't do the index -1. I did just index. If you make this index -1, it would actually work for 100. Now it works for 99. So currently they're not sequenced yet, so select all of them. Then go to, where are you? Keyframe Assistance, Sequence Layers. And instead of 2 frames, we're going to do 1 frame. So 29, 29. Well, we had 5 frames, I guess. So maybe this is a little bit too tight still. Or not still, but maybe this is a little bit too tight. Actually, it looks kind of nice. We have a lot of trailing behind it now. Well, it's 100 frames, so it's over 3 seconds that actually drags behind it. And yeah, so you can address those kind of things, and you can see that the last 2 are actually nearly the same color. They're not entirely the same color. Layer number 100 would have been the same color as layer 99. Which is exactly why I removed it. So it goes from black to white in all these nice colors. And you can, of course, adjust the colors by changing your curves. And yeah, I like it like this. Could have done with a full picture. I kind of went for the square one and then turned it into this because it normally looks better. But I think in this case, it would have been good to do it with the with the full frame. And then we're going to zoom out, and you can see all these nice colors coming together and well, doing their thing. So final thing you could really do with this is you could give it kind of a shadow behind it, which means that if we do it here, for example, then we could duplicate this layer and then hit up the scale on both of them, remove this scaling from actually the bottom one, alt click it, and then pick whip it to the scale above it, and then type times, I don't even know, 1.02. 2. I think that should be enough. Let's see what it actually looks like. Oh, we have to change it to a different color. So the tint should be changed black to, I don't even know, maybe something light grayish. And by doing so, hopefully, hello, I don't know where it is. Oh, there you go. It just took a while to calculate. But by doing so, we make a little glow around the edges, which in the final design gets you a color effect around it. So yeah, if you like that, and you can definitely do that. Of course, the color that it makes depends on which color of gray you choose here, which is kind of hard to estimate from, well, you can also just pick something that's close to it. That way it doesn't get too far off. Let's see, where is my final design? Here, now it's green and it becomes other colors. So it becomes light blue and such, but it gives it a little more pop, especially in the darker regions. So yeah, it also gives you a little bit more of these, yeah, well, these lines around it. So if you like that effect, then just use it, and if you don't like it, then just turn it off. I mean, it's easy enough to turn off. You just do it like this, and then it's gone. But you can definitely see the difference here. Now it's kind of bland, and well, you can make it a little bit more exciting, just turning up with yet another color in your design. So anyhow, that's all I have to say about it. I think it's a great effect. It's a really easy to make effect, and you can definitely make it with a lot of stuff. As I said, the tree didn't really work out because the lines were a little bit too thin. So the thin lines are what make this effect work, but you can't really see that it's a tree anymore because it has no fill in it, and the colors from underneath it kind of make it impossible to see what it actually is. And yeah, well, if you don't mind that, then that's fine, because well, it's still a great effect. I'm just saying that if you want something that's actually, well, perceivable as a tree, you should have one that actually is filled in with black, and so that it actually retains its shape even with all these layers moving behind it. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.